Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about Mercury Retrograde, explaining what it is, how it affects us, because I was tweeting about it earlier and all the good things that have been doing for me, how grateful I am to be in Mercury Retrograde, and I know that's generally not the case with people. It tends to get a very bad rep. I think that's because a lot of people don't really know what Mercury Retrograde is. They don't know how it affects them, how to act, and when they see everybody talking about how it's this big negative thing, you kind of jump on the bandwagon and say, okay, well, Mercury retrograde must be this terrible thing then if everybody is saying so. And that's really not the case. I know people use it as a scapegoat for their problems, but you did them yourself. They're your problems. They're not Mercury's. So, okay. What it is it's when the planet Mercury appears to be orbiting backwards to us on Earth. It's obviously not, but it looks that way and it feels that way. This is where the term retrograde comes in, because backwards. It occurs like 3 to 4 times a year. Because of the backwardsness, we tend to also feel backwards and very jumbled, particularly the people whose sun and moon signs are ruled by Mercury, which are Gemini and Virgo. My moon is in Gemini, so I especially feel when Mercury goes into retrograde. I'd really like to look into the correlation between how it affects sun signs versus moon signs, but I don't know enough about that to talk about it. It might be like a deal where moon signs internalize while the sun signs externalize. That would make a lot of sense. But again, I haven't done enough research on that. Maybe I'll make another video. If you don't know what your moon sign is, I may also make another video talking about that, so you can look forward to that. So, Mercury in retrograde affects communication more than anything else, since the planet of Mercury affects communication. Our personal relationships especially can get strained and put to the test. That's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the way you look at it. And because communication tends to not be great when Mercury is in retrograde, it's never a good idea to make really serious, life-changing decisions. Because we're sort of predisposed to misinterpret things because of this strained communication, and things are very likely to not be stable and subject to change. It's really not a good idea. It's very ill-advised. So when Mercury is in retrograde, what you should do is just rest. I am so grateful for this period of rest. Because of the problems in communication, you want to really stop and take time to think about what you do before you act. I really enjoy that Mercury retrograde is a period of reflection, pondering, sort of strategizing the next move before I make it. I think it's great to take that time out and to have that built in and kind of forced in because of, the strain that gets put on us in our relationships when Mercury is in retrograde. It's just better to step back. It's nice to be passive instead of always active and get that break. And then when Mercury isn't in retrograde and you can make those choices, you've thought them through, you've taken the proper time, you know that they're right. On Twitter, I was comparing it to being in a sort of chrysalis. You're onto something better, but everything is sort of paused, and the wheels are in motion, but everything is paused. Better things are on their way, but it's paused. You gotta be patient with everything because you are putting it on pause, you are being passive and reflecting, and since everyone is confused, everyone is having difficulty with their communication, so you are absolutely prone to getting in more fights when Mercury is in retrograde, because everyone and everything is sort of on edge. You should really, before you say or do anything, really think about it, think about what you say, think about what you do, how it'll impact you, how it will impact other people, because we're sort of prone to be on edge and careless when Mercury is in retrograde. So the positives, I keep adjusting where my camera is, so my focus keeps shifting, I'm sorry. So the positives of Mercury retrograde, even though it gets a really bad rep because people don't tend to know what it is, for me, this past Mercury retrograde has helped me channel a more positive path, of happiness and success, because, that strain on relationships, it cleared out what was already difficult and trying in my friendships and personal relationships. So what wasn't good for me has been cleared out, and it put all of my other relationships to the test and helped me examine them, showed me, you know, who was good for me and who wasn't, things that were good for me, things that weren't. And I think that if you can look at it that way, that's what it can do for you and for everybody. You know, if your relationships with people are really, really strained and really, really horrible when Mercury is in retrograde, that's a warning that they just shouldn't be in your life and you should make an exit. So that's a positive thing that Mercury retrograde did for me and can do for everyone, because it's that time of reflection and strategy. Some aspects of it are definitely more difficult than we'd like, but it's ultimately what you make it to be and how you choose to act that will determine how it will affect you. So it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it's a what you make it sort of thing. I hope this video cleared up some confusion that people had. That's all I have for today. If you like it, like and subscribe. You know, if you feel I left anything out, if you have something you'd like me to talk about in another video, leave a comment, let me know. And that's all for now, so I will see you guys later.